Hi, everybody. Welcome to the Town Hall in December. Emily, who is our INA board highlight and our host for the day, is actually having technical issues. So I'm just gonna welcome everybody and say hi, give everybody the rundown. Remember to just to keep down on sound and stuff like that, to keep yourself muted unless you're asking a question or something like that. We're a small group, but we're going to go ahead and introduce yourself as before you talk. Instead of spending time early here, we're going to just introduce ourselves before we start talking, because we really want to get into the heart of what we're here for, which is I know a lot of you guys are here excited to hear about what's going on in 2021 for our conference, but we've also got some really awesome people that we are going to introduce you to today that are working on our translations for our, right now, the basic skills assessment. And we're going to hear from them a little bit. Hopefully Emily will be able to make it and you'll get to hear from her too. Not, as I said before, she is having some issues. She's actually in London right now and having a few technical issues at her hotel. So so she may or may not be on, and we hope that she'll be on later. But if you guys have any questions, please feel free to just send it in the chat bar, raise your hand physically, raise your hand on Zoom, or if we're not looking at you, just go ahead and unmute and say, can I ask a question? I just first want to introduce some of the board members that are on. We've got Rachel Lubin on. Rachel, say hi, or look hi. Hi. I see Laura's there. She's traveling, but she's able to join us for a little bit. And then who else do I see? Anyone else on the board? I don't see any other board members on right now, but that's awesome. And oh, Helen, sorry, you were hiding there. Helen, too, sorry. Helen was the first one on and I forgot. I'm sorry, you were hiding for some reason on the other page. Anyways, thank you so much for being here. This is an exciting time. I know that we are going to talk about, celebration, and this has been a tough year to celebrate, but there's always something to celebrate. Before we get into the heart of everything, though, I want to share some of the happenings of the INA right now. I'm going to go ahead and share my screen. Make sure I do this right so that we can you guys see my screen now? Yes. Anybody want to tell me if they can see my screen? Can you guys see my screen? Okay, good. All right, so INA upcoming events. We've got a lot happening. It's an exciting time moving into a new year, going from 2020. This is kind of the last big event that we have, other than Mentorship Monday, which we have in a couple of days. But we've got a lot going on in 2020 that we're planning for. So Mentorship Monday, our next one is Monday, December 21st. And that's going to be about celebrating our members. And this event, if you don't know what it is, it's for our INA members. It's on the INA Facebook group. And in the chat bar, you guys, after I am done talking, I am going to share some, sorry, I'm trying to realize, is somebody trying to get in? Nobody can, because I'm trying to do double duty right now. Hang on a second. Let me see if anybody's trying to get in right now. I may need to make somebody else a co-host. Rachel, can I make you a co-host real quick? I see you.
You can. I'm not super familiar with this, but I will try my best.
I'm sorry, guys. I was not going to be doing two things at once today. All right, so, okay, I can't see it as it happens. All right, sorry, I'm so frazzled right now. Anyways, Mentorship Monday, I am going to be putting some, oh, Emily's coming in. I'm going to be putting some links in the chat bar, so you guys have links to all of these things. But if you want to become a member, I'll share that. If you're not a member, if you are a member, you can join our Facebook group. And again, I'll put that in the chat bar as well on how to do that. So this Monday, December 21st, we're going to be talking about celebrating our members. And then on Monday, January 18th, we're going to be talking about starting a new family. And if you don't know what Mentorship Monday is, we post several questions And all day, actually throughout the whole week, people make comments, have discussions around that topic. So it's a really fun time and a great way to get conversations and learn something new from some of your colleagues in the industry. We have several webinars coming up in 2021. Um, we're going to be doing a collective expertise webinar on insights and new beginnings, a COVID panel. So we're going to have a panel of a nanny, an NCS, an agency owner, and a payroll service talking about what has changed in the industry over the last year through COVID, what the struggles were, what we've learned about it, and what we think will be lasting changes. So that's going to be an exciting one. And then on February 9th, we're going to have one of our diversity webinars, allyship versus, gosh, I didn't even, accomplice? Anybody help me with that word? What is that word? Anyway, so we'll be having and then we have another diversity webinar coming up that we don't have a date and time for. Other dates to note are that the office is going to be closed from December 24th to January 3rd. Our next town hall is January 17th, and at that town hall, we will be opening and announcing the service award pin applications and meritorious service award nominations. So I am going to move on. Oh, also board nominations. The timeline is not yet set for that. So we will be discussing that in 2021. We'll be announcing that. Any questions before I move on? It is so weird how I can't see anything. If you have any questions, unmute yourself and just talk because I can't see hands or anything.
Marcia, hi, I'd like to say something.
Yeah, Laura.
I just want to talk about board nominations. Although we're not going to open the board nominations until early 2021, I did want to encourage everyone to think about coming onto the board or think about people they might want to nominate for the board. We're looking for a diverse board. So, and anyone that perhaps you might not have thought about running for the board, we're looking for people from, all different, agency owners and nannies and people from the education sector. Think about it. It's a big commitment, but it's very good work, and we have a lot of fun most of the time. And I just want to encourage people just to start thinking about it and thinking about if that's something that's in their heart, or if they know somebody that they think would be great for the board, just to put that in their hat and think about it.
Awesome, thank you. And I see that Emily is on. Emily, you want to say hi real quick? I have one more announcement to make before I hand it back over to you, but I just wanted to let everybody know that you're here.
Hi, everyone. I'm here. Good to see you all, but I can't see anything either except for the screen sharing. So I look forward to seeing you guys in a minute, and thank you for joining.
Awesome. All right, so the big announcement of today is coming in 2021. As you guys all know, this time is real tough. Everybody is really struggling still. The board was really, really sad to have to cancel our 2021 conference. And we immediately started, 2020 conference, and we immediately started planning our 2021 conference. However, the realities of the world are so uncertain still right now. And so we are not going to have an in-person conference this spring. However, we are going to have a summit, an INA summit in 2021. It's going to be March 13th from 10 a.m. to 4:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. It's a one-day event on a Saturday. It will all be virtual, of course, but we've worked really, really hard to bring you something that is different and unique than anything that we've seen in the industry so far, and that anything I think any of us have actually ever attended virtually. So I'm going to share just a really short video about that, and then we'll go through some of the details with you. So it says register now, but you have to register on Monday. We don't have the registration quite ready yet. But some of the details are as follows, and then I'll take questions afterwards. The cost is going to be $89 for INA members, $155 for non-members, and that price is good through February 15th, 2021. And after that point, it will raise up a little bit. So we're really hoping that people can register before that time so that we have an idea of who will be there and how to plan and that kind of stuff. We're going to we'll have 3 sessions for each of our normal tracks. Our normal conference tracks are kind of going to be the same for the summit. We'll have Nanny, NCS, and businesses. And so each of those tracks will have 3 sessions. There'll also be a bonus session that you can purchase the bonus session will most likely be one of the 3 speakers from the other sessions will give like a little bit of a bonus information, and that can be purchased for an extra $25. All the sessions will be recorded and made available to all attendees for 2 weeks afterwards. However, if you need a little bit more time, because we know that sometimes you need a little bit more time, you can purchase extended access for an additional 6 weeks for $35. That means you would get it for 8 total weeks. And the good thing about that is if you are a nanny and you're interested in NCS things, you will be able to have access to all 9 of those workshops, or 12 of them if you purchase the bonus workshop too. So we actually have an option to purchase both the extended access and the bonus workshops for an additional $49 too, if you're a member. So again, all this information is going to be coming out on Monday. You'll get an email with how to register, all that kind of stuff. We do not have all of our speakers yet confirmed. We have a couple of them, couple of those that we had that had lined up for 2020 that we had asked to come back. They are working through the process, but we will be announcing the speakers for the summit when they are confirmed. So continue to look out for information on that. So I'm going to stop sharing my screen here and then see if anybody has any questions for me. Anybody have any questions on that, on any of the events, really, before I pass it back over? Go ahead and unmute yourself if you do. No questions? Oh, no.
Yes. At the ending of this, would it be the same, like you get a certificate for attending just like in-person conference or not?
Well, we'll give certificates. Yeah, it probably will have slightly different wording because it's not in person. It might be like a participation or something like that. But we'll provide certificates for it for sure.
Okay.
Yeah, good question. Mara had a question. Oh, she's not a question. She just said INA works tirelessly. You all rock. Thanks, Mara. Awesome. Well, I'm excited to get this information out. I think you guys, honestly, I almost want to turn it over to Rachel to ask her, because she was the most hesitant person about doing something virtual. And when I found this platform, I actually reached out to her and I said, if I can convince Rachel that this will be an exciting event, I can convince anybody. Rachel, you want to share what you thought about it? Will you?
Sure. Yes. No, of everyone on the board, was the hardest to convince to do any virtual event. I was pretty adamant that I was not interested in doing a virtual event. And Marcia said, I can find something that will convince you. I will find a platform. And like, no, I don't want to look at my screen all day. And so when she showed me this platform that we're going to be using, I promise you that the video that she just played does not do it justice at all. It feels almost virtual reality-ish, like you are there in person in a convention center. There's like little avatar people walking around. The booths that you would go up to that are going to have like our sponsors and vendors, they look like a real booth with a real avatar person there. It feels more game-ish than it does just watching a video. And by the end of talking with Marcia, I was quite convinced that, okay, I would spend a Saturday doing this and going and learning and interacting with, my fellow industry people. It's an amazing platform, and Marcia worked really hard to find us something that was worthwhile.
Thank you. And I love that it's going to be, obviously the video that's out there is not personalized at all. We're just starting to work with the platform to get everything personalized. We'll have our own sponsors there. We will be able to personalize the templates, and we'll be able to pick like there's an outside event image that you'll see, and when you walk in the doors or when you move into the doors, you'll see a lobby that will be personalized with our information and what we want it to be. The exhibitor hall with all the exhibitors, like Rachel had talked about. Each exhibitor will get to modify their booth however they want it to, with their images, with their colors, obviously from templates that they have, but they'll get to personalize it. So you'll kind of look at it and you get to click it. And as you click a vendor, you'll have the option to speak with them face to face, or just send them a message. When you go into the auditorium, which is where all of the education, the sessions will happen, there'll be 3 options to choose from, and that'll all be personalized too. There's a networking lobby or lounge where you'll get to go into that, and you'll get to see who else is in the lounge, and you can click on that person, and both of you get to choose to have a face-to-face conversation during that time. There's a help desk where Julie and I will be at the entire day, and so all you have to do is kind of click over to there, and you'll get to chat with us personally. So we're really excited about the platform, and honestly really excited about the education that we're bringing you. The people that we have lined up already, that we'll be announcing soon, are really fantastic. They're some of our best presenters that we were excited about for 2020. So we're excited to be able to bring them back, and we're working on a couple other speakers in that. But again, Monday sometime, look for that email. You'll get an email. There's going to be 2 steps. So that's one thing that I want to say. There's going to be 2 steps to register this year. The first one is that you're going to pay through the INA portal, or through the INA e-store. So you'll get a link to that, and Monday when we're ready to go, you'll see the products there. You can purchase you can either purchase the actual conference, you can purchase one of the 2 add-ons, or you can purchase both add-ons for a discounted price if you want both add-ons. So, and then once you make that purchase, you'll get an email that refers you to the link to register for VFairs. That's the platform that we're using. And then once you're registered for VFairs, it's just, just wait. It's going to be exciting. So if you ever have any questions, you can always email us at memberservices@nanny.org. We're more than happy to help you with that. So with that exciting news, I'm going to pass it back over to Emily, and she can take it over from here.
Hi everyone, so sorry, it was a few minutes late. I had a hotel thing I was trying to deal with, and we've quarantined for 2 weeks, and so now like switching, and so it's been a lot. But so today I'm going to explain like what I do in the industry. I've kind of carved out my own niche as far as a nanny, and then went to advocate and supporting, and I worked with, and still do, with former board member Tachi Oliveira, and then I work with other board members on various projects. However, the one that really grabbed me and that I've been passionate about before I ever joined the board was making the INA truly international, and making it to where we had translators from all over the world come in and translate our exams. Because to me, if someone can do their do an exam in their own language or whatever, and this could be like a broad, widespread product, that agencies around the world can use, not just based in the United States. And so that's been a huge passion of mine. And we have 3 of our translators here today. We have Natalie Dalager, and she is from South Africa, and she lives in New York. And then we have Felline, who is from Portugal, that now lives in Switzerland. And we have Giovanna, and she is from Italy, and now she's in Switzerland today. So, and we had like 36 members on this team, and it's still going and still working. So it's a huge project, and but it's made me really excited and passionate because number one, I've had a lot of help from Marcia and Julie. They have actually went through so much of this with me to make sure that this program ran really smoothly. And so I'm really thankful for the office and all of this and the support of the board, because you have to do things as a team. And so while I had a phenomenal team supporting me, I had a phenomenal team on the ground doing all of this as well. So it was so nice to see everything come together. So that is really my passions, is seeing everyone being able to be empowered in their own language, in their native tongue, to be able to be educated in these other languages. So Natalie did Afrikaans, Giovanna, sorry, did Italian, and Felline did Portuguese. So what was this like for you three? What was it like for you guys taking something like this about your career and translating it for, you know, people in your home country or abroad that needed it in their language?
Who would you like to go first?
Whoever, it doesn't matter to me.
So I absolutely loved it. I don't think that there really is like something like this available internationally in all the languages. I know that there's a lot of South African girls who go abroad to do either nannying or au pairing, and nothing like this really, like I said, is available other than in English. And even though in South Africa we have 13 official languages, English is your number one, and Afrikaans is kind of like there in the background. So most of the South African girls, though, are Afrikaans that go abroad, you know, first time leaving the nesters. So it was quite important for me to be able to give that back to the girls, almost, you know, like, hey, it's okay. You can also do this exam. It is available in your own language for you, to make it easier. So yeah, I'm happy. I'm thankful that you asked me to, and yeah, that's it. Sorry, I am trying to do a quick Christmas shopping before my husband comes home, guys. So
all
that's
good.
why I'm in Target.
No worries. Thank you for joining us.
You're
Giovanna,
welcome,
Giovanna, what was it about for you? Like, how was that for you?
For me, it was because in Italy there is not a nanny culture. So even for me, studying and finding course or exams to do to improve myself as a professional is difficult, and I do it in English usually, very little in German, but mostly in English. So when you gave me the chance, I know just a couple of Italian nanny, and I would like for them to have an international exam to do, and maybe, like you said, to connect the agencies, because there are a couple of agencies in Italy, but they don't really know anything outside Italy, even if they look for jobs outside Italy, but the costume in every country is different. So if we at least can summarize some practices for the nanny and make it international, even in Europe, because every country has different rules and costume and everything. I was happy to be part of the project. So thank you for inviting me.
Thank you for doing it. I appreciate it. To me, it was just so amazing. All the support I got on the ground from the nannies, that because it couldn't have happened without you guys. It could not have, you know, because you guys spent so much time and effort, and everybody was so excited about this project, and I knew I was, but and so it was so much fun, and I was so happy to have each and every one of you on board. Anna, what was it like for you? You're still on mute, Anna.
Now I can, yeah, now I can talk. Sorry for this. I was not able to get unmuted.
No worries.
I am in the INA, as many of you know, for a few years. So I knew that it was important for the INA to have several languages. The exams translated in several languages. And I can only use my own example. For instance, here in Switzerland, I am in the German part. Sometimes nannies tell me, you can take the German course. And I say, I can't, because I will not understand what they say. And I need for my work to understand what I am learning. And this would be on my own language in Portuguese or in English. But there are also many nannies that even in English, they do not understand completely. English is also there, it's a foreign language for them. It's not their mother tongue. So I think it's important. It's a great tool that the INA now have. Many mother tongue languages for many nannies in all the world can now do the exam. And the exam we had all to do it when we translated. And I failed, I think, 3 or 4 questions. And I felt really bad. And I thought, I'm happy I did the exam, because now I know that I need to learn more. It is not enough what I know. So this is the opening to know my knowledge, to know that I need to learn more. So I think it's important in all these things. So congratulations, INA. Congratulations, Emily. You are doing a great work. I thank you for inviting me to do the exam translation. I enjoyed very much. And whatever the INA needs, and you can count on me. Thank you.
I mean, it was, to me, it was so surreal. I started talking about this a few years ago, year before last, and I was like, there's got to be something done. And everybody was like, this is, I had so many people that were like, there's no way. And I was like, okay, you just told me there was no way, so I will make a way. I'm very stubborn. So I was like, I will find a way. And nannies are very resourceful people. And they're also very giving and passionate. And I feel like that you shouldn't work in something unless you're very passionate about it, whether it's children, whether it's, medical, whatever it is, you need to be passionate about it, or you're not going to be good at it as good as you could be. You can't reach your full potential. And so it was so amazing to see putting out, these questions and be like, who can do this, and this. And I had so many people going, well, I don't know that language, but I can give you this, and that's how it literally went from like 7 languages to 18, just like that. And it blew me away as well. So, and then the next question I have for you all 3 is, what feedback have you gotten from nannies that knew that you were doing this project?
Sorry again. So for me, mainly, I think I spoke to you about this, like the most of the South African girls, Afrikaans girls that do come and overseas to do the job is au pairs. And it really is like the 18, 19-year-old Afrikaans girls, first time, like I said, leaving home. We do speak English in South Africa. We can all communicate easily in English, but I'm friends with Emily, and sometimes I speak to her and then I'm like, oh wait, I thought in Dutch or in Afrikaans, but I spoke in English. So having that available.
Or she just speaks to me in Afrikaans and I can sometimes guess it.
To understand. So I don't know. It's just, I think it's phenomenal, especially for the younger girls, really, the new ones leaving the nest or just starting out with this, and they have to think or just do it in English. Sometimes it's a little bit, again, now thinking in Afrikaans, wanting to speak in English could be daunting, but if you have your own language in front of you, it's easier to be able to do it. It
gives you the keys.
Yes.
Yeah. Because I feel like in a lot of ways, if you're not doing something in your mother tongue or whatever, it's setting you up for failure. You can be the most brilliant person, but if you're given the wrong tools, you'll fail every time because you don't have the correct tools to get there, although you have that knowledge.
Yes. It's like I have said, I had to go for an interview for the first time in 6.5 years because my family moved to Colorado, and I'm a good nanny. I know what I do. I'm brilliant at my job, not tooting my own horn, but when I have to speak sometimes, I get like brain farts. Call it that, But if I had to converse in Afrikaans, I would absolutely sell myself. But sometimes, even though I am very good in English, sometimes it could be tricky, thinking in a different language and speaking in a different language. So I'm thankful for the INA. Thank you, Emily, that you pushed this. And yeah, I am grateful to be part of the INA now and look forward to going many, many places with y'all.
What about for you, Giovanna? You're on mute.
The children I know, they were like, how did you get in? And they are actually curious to see the end of the project and maybe take the test. Because as I said, in Italy, there isn't much to show to the agencies. You have, if you are lucky, you have a short university degree, or if like me, you have a ton of experience, and you just need to put everything together and show this to the agency. So they are really curious, and they already told me that maybe they pass it along to some babysitter they know. So even if they are not nanny, but there are people who want to improve themselves. So I hope it becomes something bigger than just me and two others people.
That's amazing. I'm so proud of you all. Like, it just makes me glow with pride to see all of you come and talk about it. It's amazing. What about you, Anna?
So talking exactly with the nannies, I did not talk, but I know that from my group, I think several were helping you with also the translation. Yeah. So I think this is a kind of interest that nannies are showing, that they want to help the INA and to support and to support other nannies. One of the things I think about the exam, it's a very simple exam. It's accessible to all nannies, because today there's a lot of the fear of being rejected. Oh, I'm going to fail the test. It's going to be very difficult. I'm going to be tested. And I already have enough tests in my life. I don't want. And we can, of course, you for sure will take care of that, promote the exam and listen and involve us all who did the test. It is a very easy, it will be helpful for you to evaluate what you need to learn more, and the INA will be here to support you, to help you improve your studies, to improve at your work, all this, because it is simple and it is very well done in questions about all the areas in our work. So again, congratulations, Emily and INA.
Thank you. And so also Giovanna and Anna have joined my committee. I asked both of them to join my committee to help me brainstorm with more ways and more languages and what we can do in the conversation to be more international. And so they both have accepted, and I'm very excited about that. And the biggest, what is the biggest hurdle you find in nannying? Is it the language barrier going from country to country?
I talk. With the English, you can go everywhere. The job I will start next week, I told at the interview, if you expect British, I'm not your person. If you want me to teach Italian mother language to your child, I can do it. But if you want your child to learn English, I cannot do it. I'm not the right person for you. So in the end, they were happy for me to teach Italian to their child. Maybe it will come handy when they go on a trip in a few years. But Otherwise, I think with the English, I have no problem going anywhere, at least on the interview. To teach it as a mother language to a child, I speak well, but I realized that I mix American expression, British expression, sometimes Australian expression. So I understand myself and people understand me, but it's not the proper way to teach English to a child. That's why, especially when I start with babies, I tell up front, okay, guys, what do you want? Because I can teach proper Italian with grammar and everything. But if you want English, I'm not the right person. And in the end, I see there are several parents interested in the Italian language because it's a nice place to go on holiday and such. And I'm happy to be Italia. I like my Italianity. So it's so I'm proud I can help other nanny take the exam and maybe become more international. Like I could go abroad because in Italy the pay is not that nice. So maybe if we can improve our learning, we can improve our pay too. So it's for me, it's a win-win situation.
And I love to hear you talk, so you can talk all day.
Thank you.
Anna, what about you?
So I can try to explain a little bit my history in Switzerland. So I have been in Switzerland for 11 years, working with my mother tongue, the Portuguese, and with English, because my German is still, after 11 years, it's very poor. So I can understand, but can hardly talk. So to be a nanny here, and I have never been jobless. I have always had work, thank God. I'm blessed about it. I think it's about experience. It's about maturity. This has been my key, or let's say the positive that helped me to get jobs here in Switzerland. It's my good knowledge of English, but I'm not a native, as you can see very easily. But it's a good level. My German is very bad. And,
better than mine.
I also work with Brazilian, with us Portuguese and Swiss families who want English and the Portuguese. So I've been blessed to have been finding this kind of families. And it's because also the experience, because what I find here in Switzerland and probably there in the United States also is people when start to work, they need a lot of orientation, and sometimes families do not have the patience to tell, now you have to go out with a child, now you have to go there, now, oh, why is it crying? Why, it's a lot of explaining, and they don't have the time and they don't have the patience. So they like when we just go in and say, don't worry. And we already know our techniques to calm down the children, to entertain them, to take their focus out of the parents, if they are working at home parents. So they appreciate the maturity and the experience of the nannies. And also I make a point of every year do a course in English to keep updated, to keep, now I'm doing with Tanya Tsakovic, the newborn. So to be always, updated in the industry. Yeah,
Definitely.
at least one per year, a good one.
That's
per
great.
year. Yeah,
that's amazing. Now we're gonna go. I want to thank you both, all three of you, for talking about the exams. It's been great to show our project. But our theme for the month of December is celebration. And so this is going to be open discussion. You can take off mute, talk. I'll ask a question, and whoever feels like that they want to answer that question, go for it. I want to ask this question. What have you all learned this year? What would you say has been the biggest learning curve of 2020?
how to homeschool.
Oh,
Not
definitely.
what I signed up for.
I'm
used
not a
to small-
teacher.
I'm not a teacher. I'm not a qualified teacher, but I learned how to use Zoom and a lot more than I knew how to use it beforehand. And I learned from the kids how to draw funny little pictures and make rude comments across your screen and what not to do on Zoom. But yeah, trying to teach, and while you've got 2 under 2s running around the kitchen and you have a 7-year-old and a 6-year-old plugged into headphones and everything, trying to do schoolwork. Yeah, and I take my hats off to teachers now.
I literally have said, like, I'm not a teacher. There is a reason why I did not go into teaching. It's not my, definitely.
I would say that I totally echo that, everything that Helen just said. I thought I was good at multitasking before, but for real, like, I am teaching 3 kids at the same time, doing a job, trying to keep my, feeding them. Like, I mean, the amount of things that I have to do in a 5-minute period of time. And I've learned that I can do it, but I've also, like, speaking of kids, like, they're resilient. I mean, my kids are struggling in certain areas, but man, they have really impressed me with how they are stepping up. You know what I mean? And how
they adapt so well.
Yeah. And I mean, like, it's interesting. I have a 6, 8, and a 11-year-old. And I thought for sure when virtual school started at the beginning of the school year that it was going to be my 6-year-old that struggled the most. And of course, like, I'm next to him, so, like, there's part of that, and he has ADHD, so he struggles with a lot of things. But I'm learning that my older child is the one that, I thought she was going to swim through it, and she's struggling, but like, the way she's struggling with it is different than I thought. They're all much more resilient than I had I was so worried, you know what I mean? So worried that they weren't going to learn anything, that they weren't going to, have any good memories, I guess. And I don't think that that's true. I think they miss certain things for sure. We're all going to be really glad when things go back to more like normal, but we've been able to get creative and be resilient, and man, we're going to have some stories to tell in the future.
Man, at the next INA conference, a lot of drinks are going to go and talk about that.
Yeah.
Yep.
Meeches, you had your hand up.
Yes, no, I learned that you have to reinvent yourself, do new things, and also to support your nanny sisters that are entrepreneurs, support them, buy from them, and also be ready to get in Zoom and meet everyone that is out there trying to get together with you, because it's hard times. But it's being really extraordinary time, meeting people from around the world through Zoom and Facebook, and it's been really. I think even the things are really hard because jobs are really getting lost and people is dying and stuff like that. But I feel it's been a really nice year for me, and it's pushing myself to do stuff through the internet that I was afraid to do before, and then reinventing yourself, because it's not. I feel like you need to have another income, not just nanny, because that the nanny work sadly is so easy to lose. The job is so easy
Especially with
to
a
lose.
pandemic. Especially with a pandemic.
Yeah,
it's either all or nothing.
Yeah, here in New York, it was really hard to hear so many stories of nannies that were just laid down by a text message, or not even a phone call. It was a text message that Friday the 14th, the 13th. So many people got that text messages in the night saying, "Oh, don't come back, and thank you, bye," and then block the numbers and never answer them back. For that is like reinventing yourself, trying to do all the classes that you can do in the internet, and get together with your nanny sister through Zoom. That's what I learned.
Exactly. Yes. You're welcome. Who's next?
The biggest for me is adjustment. I've never really had parents constantly at home. Occasionally they work from home, but never constantly being present every day. And I mean, it is stressful. especially, but it's like adaptation on both sides because they've never had someone in their home as well. And also when I'm at work, I'm not on my phone. And I had to say that to them because I made the decision from since March, both my boys has been home strictly remotely. And that's for our safety as well as theirs, because my sons are not going to take the necessary precaution that I do getting on and off public transportations. And if they're out there, they're at risk, and that puts me at a greater risk, which puts my nanny family at risk as well, because I spend most of the time with the baby. And I say to them, I said, normally I'm not on my phone, but this is an exception that you guys have to make. And it's an adjustment for me too, because my kids are at home. I'm monitoring them through, because like I have everything on Google Classroom on my phone for both kids. So I'm monitoring their classes. And also there's a camera at home that watches them. And thankfully they're 13 and 9. They're not 5 and 6 or 5 and 4. So that has been an adjustment on my part as well, to like constantly have my phone. But I do it at intervals when the baby's sleeping. And I also say to them, if you need to reach me, call. If my phone calls twice and it has a special ringtone for them, if it goes twice, I know it's urgent that they need my attention. So then I'll respond.
That's really amazing though. Your boys are so cute though and so well behaved. You're so lucky. Yeah, it's great. Does anybody else have something to share about this year? Meredith?
Hi, well, I'm new. I don't want to say fell into nannying, but my side hustle in New York was babysitting, and I moved there for a design internship. And then, before COVID, I had a completely full schedule through an agency. But then I really discovered like the great nannying community. I had a really reputable agency in New York that took care of me. So it kind of taught me good practices. And now I'm in Grosse Pointe Farms, Michigan as a full-time nanny. So I was a summer nanny in New York. So I've really learned, I guess it's been nice to find the INA to see like kind of what are professional standards. And one thing that happened is I'm excited to take the exam, but the family in Grosse Pointe was like, wow, you're the most professional candidate we had, just because, I discovered what good practices were through this community.
What part of New York were you in?
So I lived in I lived at like one of the last women's residences in Midtown Manhattan. And so I could like go everywhere. But then as soon as COVID hit, I worked through people using corporate benefits. So I helped a nurse. And then one of my babysitting families, her son broke his femur. And so she was over in Prospect Park, Brooklyn. And so I helped with Ty over the summer. And then I thought maybe I would be nannying, but the industry trained so much. So people were either in the Hamptons or Maine or this and that. Luckily, my parents are in a wealthy part of Detroit, but Grosse Pointe Farms is kind of a small insular community. So there's actually no agency in Grosse Pointe. There is for the other side of town, but like the Ford families here, it's a very like kind of preppy place. So I ended up finding, a family here. It's the dad's a lawyer and the mom works at Google, and they're like walking distance from my parents. So it works out for now. So
that's great. Mara, I think you had your hand raised next.
Yes, thank you very much, and greetings to all from Los Angeles. What amazing meeting, like always. I think sometimes I'm kind of a cheerleader of INA. I am always jumping up and down for everything that you do. That is amazing, amazing. Like right now, Marcia, working on the platform to find a way to not miss. Oh my gosh, you are unstoppable. And I am a big fan of INA, changed my life. I cannot stop to say that. And the reason of celebration for me is that we arrived here. That's the reason of a big celebration, that we had to change each and every day was a new day. Here in Los Angeles, we had lockdowns, we had the National Guard on the streets. We had Santa Monica Boulevard that you drive at 10 miles per hour every day, all day long. And because the traffic is so jammed and do not have cars at all was almost surreal, and see the troops on each corner, the big stores all boarded, was really, really like if you were in a nightmare. But we made it. Everybody's healthy, all my family, the family that I work with. And so we made it. We made it. And it makes me so joyful that we are able to be here now celebrating. Thank you very much. So nice to see you all. It's amazing. Thank you.
It's so good to see you again, as always. I've enjoyed seeing you on the town halls for the past few months. It's been great. And I did get your message about helping with the translations, and I will connect with you. So
super. Yes, and with Tati, we talk about this.
Yes.
Little. Yes, I have plans for Brazil. So that's my dream thing.
Let's talk.
Thank you,
talk.
Nadia. Thank you.
Okay, Giovanna.
Okay, I, like Kim, I learned to have my personal phone with me because my mother live in Italy in the original red zone, so I couldn't cope not having news the whole day. So I told my boss, I have the business phone and the personal phone on me all day, and if my family calls. And then what I learned this year is to stay away from my family, because for the first time in my life, I couldn't go back. And it was really hard, strange, and because it was not my choice. It's not like I say, okay, this time I go on holiday instead of going home. And for like 7 months, I couldn't go home, and it was really, really hard. And even now, everything is different. Yesterday, I couldn't say bye to my nephew and niece with a hug because I couldn't risk it. I was negative to the blood test, and they go to school, and we were like, okay, kiss from afar. And it's even the relationship are different. And I think we all grow up and we can deal with it, but I worry about the young people, because already us, we were dealing a lot through social network. And the kids now are doing, we were already complaining about the kids don't go out, they don't play outside and such. And now they are allowed to stay all the time on the phone, on the computer. And I think the social skills in a couple of years are going to be really difficult for these kids, because they don't know how to interact with real people. It's different in person that on the phone or on the computer. So I learned a couple of things about myself. I thought I wasn't a social person, and now I'm really social. I would like to go out all the time. So as soon as these things is over, plan to visit me, or I plan to visit you. So don't
come on. Deb, I'm a very social person, but I found that COVID has made me very much more anxious. And like, I mean, I wear a mask even while I'm outside. It doesn't matter. Like, I always wear a mask. And my friends look at me, they're like, you can calm down. I'm like, I'm sorry, I just cannot. Like, I have to wear this for my sanity at this point. It might not help anything,
no,
you know. So I like,
it's mandatory. You cannot go out of your house, of your car without the mask. You are always, so for the last 2 months I was home, I always having the mask, even if I'm dining with, okay, not dining because we cannot go to the restaurant in the evening, just having lunch. And even at the restaurant, until we eat, but 2 meters afar, we keep the mask always, all the time. And I think the difference between countries is the legislation is different. So for me, it was really hard because I could see in Italy, my mother, my sister telling me about the police on the street, and I couldn't go out. I was in London, and I could say, okay, there was a lockdown in London too, but I was seeing people going to the park, having a beer on the street. I was like, I'm home with a baby and I'm afraid of going out without protection. And actually, I went to the supermarket and a lady told me, thank you for wearing a mask. I was like, are you serious? Yes, because you are protecting me. And I was like, I'm actually protecting myself, but if I can protect you as well, I'm happy. And she was like, not many people are wearing masks. And I was like, why so different country from country? And I think we should really have almost the same policy everywhere, because otherwise we are not getting out of this, or not so soon.
That's true. That's very true. So to wrap up this town hall, I've really enjoyed it. I've loved the interaction. Everybody's talked so much. It's been great. I want to go around the room here and ask everyone what they're looking forward to the most in a normal 2021. Once things get back to normal, what would that be for you? Okay, we'll start with Giovanna, and then I'll go to Meredith after Giovanna.
For me, would be able to hug and kiss the people like I was used before. In Italy, when we meet, especially after a long time, we hug and kiss. And now we are with the elbow or just, okay, happy to see you, and having like a glass of wine at the table and just chatting, doing something normal. My mother was afraid of me going to the supermarket with a friend. I was like, it's my only socializing. I push my shopping cart, she pushes her shopping cart, and we talk a bit, and we are and I was like, if I can get even this, I want to meet my friends again, or have somebody visiting me, because last year I chose to work in London because everybody wanted to come to London, and
I still want to come to London.
Everybody wanted, yeah, we should have met in March for the UK nanny, and then everything went apart. I was like, I went to London because I wanted to go out, have a social life. Yeah, I decided to have a social life. COVID happened. I was like, maybe next time I choose a small city, which I did, and I go back to being an introvert. That's me.
Don't worry. Once it's over, you can go back to socializing.
Thank you.
Okay, Meredith, what would you say that you're looking forward to in 2021?
Just going out. I'm an extreme extrovert. Like, I would work on my art portfolio at the bar, and it wasn't even that I was drinking. It was just that I got more work done. You know, I'd have like one beer and I'd be like drawing and doing that. So I'm just excited to socialize and also like not have to talk to my families about every social interaction that I have, which I'm happy to do because I want them to be safe, you know, so I'm happy to communicate, but just go out and socialize and just have
just to be normal.
Exactly. But I'm sure everyone feels that way.
Oh God, I know I do. Meechus, what are you looking forward to in 2021? Sorry, I didn't mean to scare you.
And that's okay. Well, what I'm looking for is to have, like you say, more interaction in person with people, trying to have more interaction with the Latino nannies, to get a good job, because right now I just have a part-time, but to get a good job and continue raising the standards for the community, for the nanny community.
Amazing. Laura and Helge, you're up next. What are you looking forward to? All the way in Amsterdam.
To being able to go home would be quite nice, to see my family, and to be able to travel, because I'm feeling a bit stuck. So it'd be good to be able to, as much as I love Amsterdam, to leave it for a bit.
Yeah, the quarantine's no fun. Just going to tell you that right now. Okay. Anna, what are you looking forward to most in 2021?
I wish that all the world would change a little bit the lifestyle. I'm gonna be a little bit dramatic, but I think this should be a reflection that we are living crazy lifestyles. And from one moment to the other, our lives turn upside down. And we have our children now growing and watching everybody behind a mask. And this is very traumatic for them. So I think we should give the example and change lifestyles. We should take care more of our planet and our world and stop with the consumerism like crazy and spending our natural resources. We should really think, what are we doing here? This
Definitely.
I think for next year.
That's a good idea.
And forever.
Definitely. Mara, you're up next. What are you looking forward to? You're on mute. You're muted.
That I'm just looking.
I can see the passion too.
I will be dramatic with Anna because, and even dramatic, but at the same time positive, because even along all this pandemic, all this headache craziness that we are going through, I feel that we are open the warm can and everything is exposed in a way that everybody has to see. The health insurance, at least here in US, the disparity, the absurd of poor people don't have internet and they think they have, and everything, the school system, the health system, everything is extremely exposed. And so I, at the same time, that it can be dramatic, as Anna said, that it is, but at the same time, I feel very positive. I don't have any expectation. I'm totally open, but I just wanna, that I missed this year to hug my mom, my mother-in-law, my little granddaughter that is in Brazil and I cannot see her growing. She's just 2 years old. And so that's the only objective that I have, to see my family, but I'm totally open for a better future that I think that we are turning the curve, I hope.
I'm just waiting to see my parents. I haven't seen them since June, so I am definitely ready to see my parents. Marcia, what about you? Yeah, oh gosh. Marcia, what are you looking forward to this year? Not being a school teacher?
So I'm listening to all these, get out and see people and hug people, and I feel like I'm going the opposite direction. Please don't judge me as a horrible person or parent, but I'm looking forward to like having some time to myself and not always be next to another human being that is smaller than me. I love my kids, and I've actually like enjoyed them being at home more than I thought I would, I think, in some ways, watching them learn and, being more of a part of that. But it is overwhelming to constantly, it's 24/7. You know what I mean? Like there isn't a school that, I can take them to give me a couple of hours. I mean, even if I'm working, it's still like I don't have to do 20 things at once, at least 3 off the table. And
exactly, it's so much.
I love so many things about INA conferences and Nanny Palooza and all that kind of stuff, but being in a hotel room by myself for a couple of days is definitely a hollow.
We all get it. Don't worry. We all get that, Marcia.
I mean, if that's myself, like I know that sounds, I'm just totally
doesn't sound bad at all. Doesn't sound bad at all.
Helen knows this about me. I'll go to the conference and then I sneak off to the hotel and nobody sees me. I'm like, I gotta be by myself and be alone.
Like, do you want to
give all I could give?
No, I want to go back to my hotel room and be in a bedroom by myself.
I want a burger and fries and a glass of wine. That I swear, that's what I want. Exactly.
No one asking for any of it.
Exactly. Like I am unavailable. Bye.
Well, I don't know. That's what I'm looking forward to that eventually. Now, please hear that I love my children dearly and I love my life.
Totally get that. And I'm still going to go floating like you did. I cannot wait to try it.
I can't wait so I can get this thing off so I can do that. But
yes, definitely. Helen McCarthy, you're next. What are you looking forward to?
Well, I'm going to be really selfish. So I'm looking forward, and I just want to get on the first plane that leaves London to go somewhere hot. And I'm not bothered. I don't care whether I have to wear a mask or not. I am so over this. It's ruined our lives. Also, I'd like to actually just go to the pub for a drink without buying a substantial meal.
Yes. What is this?
This is obviously, this applies in London, Emily. You've come to London and you've just come at the wrong time.
I just am spread too thin, and I wouldn't be
London
able to
has just been crazy.
time and energy.
It's insane. I mean, I'm
insane.
happy to be here, but my goodness.
On the non-selfish, and also more my time. Like last weekend was the first Saturday I actually put down a laptop, did not do Zoom calls, did not do anything to do with INA, UK Nanny, anything, and went to the spa.
There you go. That was
excellent. Good. So yeah, I agree. No, Marsha, you're not being selfish. I agree with the whole thing, but I just want to be able to go away with my husband on holiday to somewhere hot. But also I want to make sure that the
Cancun
UK Nanny
is open. Cancun is open. Very
Cancun
we're not allowed.
Oh, Americans are allowed?
Yes, my son just took 6 nights over there inside the hotel, very well protected, low number of people. He was very pleased, and he was on the ocean, basking on the sun, came back tanned.
So jealous, Mara. Don't rub it in.
Yeah, me too.
The problem is, if we go on holiday, we have to quarantine for 10 days when we get back. So a 2-week holiday turns into a month's holiday.
Yeah.
So
yeah,
you
well,
either
we had to quarantine 2 weeks here, then I'm here for 3 weeks, and then when I go back to the States, I've got another 14 days.
So we need to get rid of the quarantines in order to have a 2-week holiday.
It's true.
Yeah.
It's true. Oh.
But also on the non-selfish side, I'm really hoping that we get our UK Nanny Matters campaign further afield than we've got this year. It's 6 months old and it's going great guns, and we just want to get nannies registered and legalized. And then if we get it here, we can go worldwide with it. And that is our main plan.
Come over to the States. Rima, is that how you pronounce it?
That's correct. It's Rima. I only wish, can you hear me?
Yes, ma'am, I sure
Hello?
can.
Yeah, okay. Well, it's a little selfish, but not that selfish, actually. My older daughter is turning 20 this year, and I just wish to be able to invite the family and friends over and celebrate together, just as we used to.
Oh, that's super sweet, Rima. That's super sweet. I love that. Kim, what are you looking forward to?
Traveling, that's my biggest thing. 2020 was supposed to be my year traveling, and COVID hit. And I mean, networking, I was hoping that the INA said they were going to have a social distance conference. The networking and just like hugging people again. I got a little bit of that because I recently traveled from Elite Newborn Care Solutions retreat, which was amazing. Just like being in the company of like-minded individuals all over again and getting to hug people, because everyone took safety precautions in getting there. We quarantined like a week before, and I mean, the flying kind of freaked me out, but it wasn't bad at all. Like I thought my mind had it made up to be, and I took like precautions, sanitizing everything, and it was amazing. But my biggest thing, thanks to Adventure Nannies, I was able to land it my biggest paying nanny position during COVID this year. And my passion is always with babies, but I'm looking to launch my NCS business for 2021.
Amazing. That's phenomenal. Rachel, you're next.
Hi. I think as an empath, someone who kind of feels the emotions of people around me and of the world, this year has created a lot of anxiety that I didn't really have before. physically, emotionally, like I'm just anxious a lot. And so I look forward to a time when the world isn't so anxious and isn't so afraid of other people. And I'm not so afraid of other people that just, it feels really icky to go to a grocery store and just to be like, what have you touched? What am I touching? I touched a doorknob. Oh no, I can't touch my face. I need to sanitize. It just feels very scary. Like people are kind of the enemy right now because you don't know who has what. And so I just look forward to a time when people can we can sort of collectively take a deep breath, you know, as a society, and there's places of true relaxation where you go and everyone is relaxing, and so you can sort of feel that energy, or you can go to a place where everyone's excited, like potentially a bar or a concert, just places where there's really great energy and everyone's really happy, and you can sort of feel that, as opposed to just an entire year of the world feeling anxious and sad. That has,
and you get to see your girlfriend. I get to see my boyfriend. I feel you on that one. Wendy, would you like to share with us as well?
Sure, I can share, and I'm sorry I can't turn on my video. I am actually working right now.
Oh, good. Oh, good.
But you know, I have been one of the lucky ones. My life was not changed completely by COVID. I tend to work really long hours and then take long stretches of time off, and that has kind of continued. I was one of the lucky ones who was able to travel because I had the ability to do a quarantine on either side. But travel is definitely what I'm looking forward to getting back to most, because although I was able to get away, I was one of the ones who went to Cancun. It would have been very nice to take 5 weeks to travel rather than 2 weeks to quarantine, a week to travel, and 2 more weeks to quarantine. So definitely looking forward to getting back to my normal travel life, but also just kind of seeing in what ways the world changes long term, because I don't think that things will ever go back to the way they were. I think they'll just be back to a new normal, and I'm excited to see what that looks like. And I've got some big things coming up in my business and in my personal life, and I'm really excited just to see where that all takes me.
Amazing. And since we're also talking about celebration, I also want to celebrate Kim one more time this year from being our INA Nanny of the Year. Much love to you. I know you personally. You. I've loved you from day one, and I thought it was amazing that you got it this year. And I can't wait to see you in person to celebrate.
I know. I missed you from walking around the corner and having a wine sessions.
I know.
I'm in New York again, but
you are?
Yeah.
Thinking about what a rough year this was for you to win. What a stinky. I mean, I'm so excited for you, but you've kind of gotten the short end of the stick with it.
I know. Because I was looking forward. That was my biggest thing.
We're gonna have to find a way to really continue to celebrate you a little bit longer once we're together.
Well, definitely. That was something
I was so looking forward to being in London. I was so looking forward to being in London with Helen this year. Yeah, but hey.
Come 2021, we're going ahead in person. So, and I'm admiring your blue fizz from Florence in the background.
Oh, the wine. Yeah, it's my favorite. It's my favorite.
One of my drinking buddies.
I was in Florence in the summer.
Yeah, I have it. I wanted to get it to take to the elite retreat, but sadly enough, it would not have gotten here in time. But I made sure I stock up for Christmas into the New Year's, because having surgery at the beginning of the year, so I'll be home for like about 6 to 8 weeks.
Yeah, definitely. Well, thank you guys all for joining us. It's been such a fun town hall. And I know I went a little bit long than I was supposed to, but I thought the conversation was going so well, and everybody was enjoying the chat. And so I really enjoyed spending my evening with you guys, for me, because it's almost 6 o'clock here, my time and Helen's. So it's so nice to have seen each and every one of you. Thank you so much for taking time out of your day. And I look forward to seeing you at the next one. Bye.
Bye, everyone.
Bye.
Merry
Happy
Christmas.
holidays. Happy
Merry
holidays to
Christmas.
everyone.
Feliz Navidad.
Yes, happy holidays. Wishing you the best. Love to everyone.